The world you are living in right now, everything you see, everything you touch, everything you experience, is a mirror of the mind you have trained or failed to train, the house you live in, the money in your bank account, the relationships you cultivate, the health you wake up with every morning. All of it, without exception, is an echo of your inner world. If your mind is a cluttered workshop of fear, excuses and limitation, that is the life you will manufacture. If your mind is a cathedral of clarity, discipline, and belief, that is the life you will command. It has never been about luck. It has never been about fate. It has always been about one thing: the mastery of your own mind. The man who understands this will outbuild, outearn, outlast 1,000 men more talented than him. The woman who understands this will rise above circumstances that would have crushed others. You must decide, and right now, whether you will be the architect of your life or its prisoner. Because if you do not train your mind, the world will do it for you. And the world is perfectly happy to keep you small, to keep you doubting, to keep you asleep. Today we tear down those walls. Today you remember who you are, train your mind, and command your life. Every great builder of fortune, every creator of legacy, every titan whose name we remember, they all began the same way, with a mind that refused to be ruled by circumstance. Think of Thomas Edison. 10,000 failed experiments. 10,000. But every single failure was a sharpening stone for the mind. Every single setback was a test of mental fortitude. And when the rest of the world laughed, Edison's mind remained unshaken. I will create the light. Think of Henry Ford, told by engineers that an 8-cylinder engine was impossible. Told by banks that his company would collapse. Told by experts that no common man would ever own an automobile. Yet in Ford's mind, the vision was already built. And because he saw it so vividly in his inner world, it was only a matter of time until the outer world caught up. That is what you must understand. Reality does not lead the mind. The mind leads reality. When you train your mind to think with clarity, conviction, and purpose, life bends to your will. When you leave your mind untrained, life bends you. But most people, they never train it. They feed their mind with scraps, junk information, fear-based news. The opinions of the mediocre, the programming of the small-minded. They do not guard their thoughts, and so their thoughts become a patchwork of other people's fears, other people's doubts, other people's limits, and they wonder why life feels like a cage. Listen to me. You were not born to be caged. You were born to command. But command is not given. Command is earned, and it is earned through the disciplined training of your mind. First, you must take responsibility. The world will try to convince you that your life is determined by external factors. Your upbringing, the economy, the government, the system. It is not. Your life is determined by one thing: the quality of your thinking. There are men who have risen from absolute poverty to wealth beyond imagination. There are women who have risen from trauma to power. Why? Because at some point, they said, enough. I will not be ruled by circumstance. I will rule myself. And that begins with responsibility. Not blame, not shame, responsibility. You must look in the mirror and say, everything I am, I have built. Everything I will become, I will build. And in that moment, you reclaim the power the world tried to steal from you. Second, you must become aware of your dominant thoughts, because thoughts are not neutral. Thoughts are seeds, and your subconscious mind is the soil. It does not judge the seed. It grows what you plant. If you plant fear, you harvest paralysis. If you plant resentment, you harvest bitterness. If you plant small dreams, you harvest a small life. But if you plant belief, if you plant vision, if you plant unstoppable resolve, you will harvest miracles. But first, you must observe what you are planting. Most people run an inner script that sounds like this: I can't, I'm not enough. It's too late, they're better, I'll fail. And then they're confused when life delivers exactly what they rehearsed. You must become ruthless with your inner voice. Catch the lie the moment it arises. Replace it with truth. If you're dominant, thought is not aligned with the life you seek, you will sabotage yourself at every turn. Train your mind, guard the gate. Speak only what you wish to see manifest. Next, you must create a vision so clear, so vivid, so magnetic that your subconscious mind has no choice but to move toward it. Understand this. The subconscious obeys clarity. A vague vision produces vague results. Crystal clear vision creates gravitational pull. When Walt Disney envisioned Disneyland, it was a barren orange grove. Others saw trees. He saw castles. He saw rivers, rides, smiling children, magic in every corner. And because his mind saw it with total clarity, the world eventually bent to match that vision. You must do the same. If you say, I want success, that is nothing. The mind cannot obey fog. If you say, I will build a company that serves 100,000 people and generates $1 million a year, now the mind has a target. If you say, I want to be healthier, fog. If you say, I will weigh 180 pounds, run 5 miles 3 times a week, and have a resting heart rate of 60, the mind begins to work. Clarity is power. Train your mind to think in specifics. Define what you want with ruthless precision. Then rehearse that vision until your mind begins to believe it is already true. Because belief, deep, emotional, unshakable belief, is the fuel that transforms thought into reality. This is where most people falter. They create a vision, but they do not believe it. Their conscious mind says, I want it. Their subconscious whispers, but it's not for me, and the subconscious always wins. So you must train belief the way you would train a muscle. How? Through repetition and emotion. Every morning, speak your vision aloud with power. Every night, visualize it with emotion. Not as a fantasy, as a certainty. Not as a hope, as an inevitability. And when doubt arises, and it will, you do not argue with it. You overwrite it. You drown it in a flood of empowered thought. This is not motivation. This is mental warfare. Either you are training your mind, or your mind is training you. There is no neutral. Train your mind. Command your life. This is the law by which every empire is built. This is the truth the world will never teach you, because a trained mind is dangerous. A trained mind does not follow the crowd. It leads. A trained mind does not wait for permission. It acts. A trained mind does not bow to circumstance. It commands, and that is who you must become. Discipline. If belief is the fuel, discipline is the engine, because the greatest vision means nothing without the power to act on it, relentlessly, day after day, when the mood is gone, when motivation fades, when the world tempts you to quit. Discipline is not a personality trait. It is not a gift. It is trained, one choice at a time. Every morning you rise is a battlefield, and the enemy is not the world. The enemy is comfort. Comfort is the quiet assassin of dreams. It whispers, rest a little, and more. Skip today? Take the easy path. You deserve it. And each time you listen, you lose a piece of your command. Each time you obey comfort, you betray your vision. But every time you defy it, every time you rise when your body says sleep, work when your mind says later, move when the world stands still, you forge discipline into your character. And here is the truth they will not tell you. Discipline feels unnatural at first because you are fighting against years of programming. But if you endure the early resistance, if you push through the storm, you will awaken a force so powerful within you that it terrifies the undisciplined. Because the man or woman who is disciplined cannot be stopped. They move when others wait. They create when others complain. They rise when others retreat, and over time they command the life others only dream of. Action. All thought is potential energy. All belief is stored power. But without action, nothing changes. You cannot think your way to mastery. You cannot meditate your way to millions. You must act. Massive, consistent, intelligent action. This is where so many fail. They consume endless information but do nothing with it. The mind is not trained through learning alone. It is trained through doing. You must build the muscle of execution. When an idea comes, act. When fear whispers wait, act. When perfectionism tempts you to delay, act. Because each time you move in spite of fear, in spite of uncertainty, you send a message to your subconscious. I am a person who builds. I'm a person who commands reality, and the more you act, the more the mind begins to trust you. Most people's minds are like wild horses, undisciplined, chaotic, disobedient, because they have taught their mind that their words mean nothing. They say, I'll wake up early, but they sleep in. They say, I'll build the business, but they scroll instead. They say, I'll change, but they repeat the same old patterns, and so their mind learns to ignore their commands. But when you align word with action, when you speak and then move, you build mental integrity, and when your mind trusts you, your power multiplies. Because now, when you command yourself to act, the body follows without resistance. This is the mark of those who build empires. Train your mind to obey action. Command your life through action, adaptability. The world will not move in a straight line. No vision ever unfolds exactly as imagined. This is why adaptability is essential. A rigid mind breaks under pressure. A flexible mind bends and then dominates. Think of Bruce Lee's words, be like water. Water adapts to the shape of its container. It flows around obstacles. It wears down stone over time. It can crash with power or move with subtlety. Your mind must become like this: fluid, adaptive, unstoppable. When life changes, do not resist. When the plan fails, do not collapse. When the unexpected arrives, smile, adjust, move. Adaptability is not weakness. It is a superior form of strength. The oak tree that refuses to bend in the storm is uprooted. The bamboo that bends survives the wind and thrives. And here is the paradox. The most powerful minds are those that can shift strategy without losing purpose. The goal remains fixed. The method evolves. Most people fall because they mistake the method for the mission. When the method fails, they think the mission is dead. But when your mind is trained, you understand. There are infinite methods, infinite paths, infinite ways to move forward. When one door closes, you break through the wall. When the wall is too strong, you find the window. When there is no window, you build a ladder, and when there is no ladder, you fly. This is the power of an adaptable mind. Train your mind to adapt. Command your life through flexibility, resilience. If you dare to build a life of command, you will meet resistance. It is not personal. It is law. The greater the vision, the greater the pressure. But resilience is the force that turns pressure into fuel. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about rising through pain. Study any great builder of fortune. Their life is a story of resilience. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, defeated in 8 elections, suffered deep personal losses, yet rose to become one of the greatest leaders in history. Nelson Mandela, 27 years imprisoned, yet emerged unbroken to lead a nation. Oprah Winfrey, abused as a child, rejected, countless times told she was unworthy, yet rose to global influence. Their secret: a trained mind that refused to submit to circumstance. Resilience is trained the same way as strength, through resistance. Every challenge you endure without breaking makes you stronger. Every setback you rise from teaches your mind, I cannot be defeated. But here is the key. You must reframe adversity. Most see adversity as punishment. The wise see it as preparation. Every setback is shaping you. Every difficulty is refining you. Every loss is creating capacity within you for greater victory. You must teach your mind to love the process, not just the prize. To value growth more than comfort, because when your mind loves the fight, you become unstoppable. Train your mind to be resilient. Command your life through perseverance. Learning. The mind you have today is not enough for the life you desire tomorrow. You must become a lifelong student. Carnegie studied relentlessly. Ford read every book he could find on engineering and leadership. Disney devoured books on storytelling and human psychology. Hill himself dedicated decades to studying the most successful men of his time. The moment you believe you know enough, you cease to grow. and a mind that stops growing starts dying. You must cultivate intellectual humility, the hunger to learn, always. Read, listen, observe, ask questions. Challenge your assumptions, because every new idea expands the architecture of your mind. And the more expansive your mind, the greater your capacity to command life. Do not seek entertainment. Seek enlightenment. Do not consume passively. Consume to create. Feed your mind daily with the nutrients of wisdom, because a trained mind, fed with truth, becomes a force the world cannot ignore. Train your mind to learn. Command your life through wisdom. Gratitude. Gratitude is not softness. It is not a polite ritual. Gratitude is power, because a grateful mind is a magnet for abundance. A resentful mind is a magnet for scarcity. And this is why so many people repel the very life they desire. They live in a state of inner complaint. They see what is missing, not what is present. They speak what is wrong, not what is working. And what you focus on expands. If you speak lack, you attract more lack. If you rehearse gratitude, you attract more to be grateful for. But this is not about faking joy. It is about seeing clearly. No matter where you stand today, you are breathing. You have another chance. You have the ability to think, to choose, to act. Millions would trade places with you in an instant. And when you train your mind to see this, when you condition yourself to feel deep gratitude even for small things, you enter a mental state that cannot be defeated. Gratitude amplifies faith. Gratitude strengthens resilience. Gratitude sharpens vision. Gratitude attracts opportunity. This is why the wealthiest minds, the builders of empires, begin and end their days in gratitude. Because the man who is grateful for what is coming commands it faster. The woman who is grateful for unseen blessings pulls them into reality. Gratitude is not weakness. It is strategic alignment with the flow of life. Train your mind in gratitude. Command your life with grace, purpose. But all of this, belief, discipline, action, adaptability, resilience, learning, gratitude, is empty without one thing: purpose. Without purpose, you drift. Without purpose, you consume, but do not create. Without purpose, you rise but do not serve. Purpose gives life to the mind. Purpose gives fire to the soul, and the deeper the purpose, the greater the power it unleashes. This is why the great builders of history had vision beyond themselves. Carnegie built, not just for steel, but to elevate the common man. Ford built not just cars, but the possibility of mobility for all. Disney built not just films, but worlds that inspired imagination across generations. Mandela fought not for himself, but for the dignity of his people. You must ask yourself, why am I building? If your why is shallow, wealth alone, status alone, you will quit when the winds rise. If your why is deep, service, contribution, legacy, you will stand through any storm. Purpose transforms pain into fuel. Purpose turns work into worship. Purpose turns obstacles into stepping stones. And purpose gives the mind a horizon so vast, it will stretch itself to match it. Do not wait for purpose to appear. Craft it. Do not hope to find it. Choose it. What injustice will you correct? What vision will you build? What people will you serve? What legacy will you leave? Speak your boy. Purpose. Write it. Live it. And when you align every thought, every action, every breath with that purpose, you become a force no obstacle can contain. Train your mind in purpose. Command your life through mission. Presence. Yet in all this striving, remember, power is found in the present moment. An untrained mind either drifts into the past or anxiously clings to the future. But the trained mind commands the now. Now is where choice lives. Now is where action is born. Now is where destiny is shaped. When your mind dwells in the past, it feeds on regret. When it races into the future, it feeds on anxiety. But when it focuses on the now, fully, intensely, it becomes razor sharp. The samurai trained to be fully present with every movement of the blade. The master sculptor trains to be fully present with each strike of the chisel. The visionary leader trains to be fully present with each decision, each word, each moment. Presence turns work into mastery. Presence turns relationships into deep connection. Presence turns ordinary moments into portals of power. Train your mind to stay here, not wandering. Not distracted, not fractured, here, now alive. Because the mind that commands the present commands the future. Train your mind in presence. Command your life through awareness. And now, we arrive at the call, the awakening, the moment where the inner command becomes an outer reality. You must understand, you are already a builder of worlds. You are already a commander of reality. You have done it unconsciously. Now you will do it by design. This is the shift from drifting to leading, from hoping to deciding, from reacting to commanding. The world you desire is waiting. It is not held from you. It is held for you, waiting for the version of you who is ready to claim it. That version is trained. That version is disciplined. That version is adaptable. That version is resilient. That version is hungry to learn. That version is overflowing with gratitude. That version is driven by unshakable purpose. That version is fully present, fully alive, and that version is you, if you choose it, right now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now, you are not your past, you are not your failures, you are not your circumstances. You are what you decide to become from this breath forward. Train your mind. Command your life. Speak it, feel it, become it. Say it aloud. I train my mind. I command my life. And as you move from this moment, carry this truth in your bones. The greatest power you will ever possess is not found in the world. It is forged in the mind. Master it, and there is nothing you cannot build. No life you cannot create, no legacy you cannot leave. Train your mind, command your life, now and forever.